Did you know that Roblox might be teaching your kids advanced economic skills and principles? Well, I had no idea until yesterday. So let's get into it. In the game of Roblox, if you're at all familiar with it, it's an amalgamation of a lot of custom made games. People can go into the Roblox studio, create whatever their heart desires in a very simplistic form, very similar to the more graphical fidelity of a game like Minecraft. It's nothing that's going to blow you away, but the fun that you can have, especially with others, is pretty crazy, whether you're a kid or an adult. And of course, my 9-year-old just so happens to be a Roblox fanatic. My son, probably like a lot of other kids, was initially drawn into the aspect of it being free to play. And again, the tons of different games that you can play, from hide and seek games to prop hunt games to first person shooting to adventure, puzzle, hatching pets and collecting pets, kind of getting that collector's itch in. And one thing in particular that my son loves that we're going to dive into more in just a quick second. Roblox has a really good hook, particularly for kids. And again, just the wide variety of everything you can do in it is pretty crazy. And it's nice that, at least initially, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get some enjoyment out of it. As I was sitting in my office yesterday, a lot of times my son, I have a little mini gaming laptop set up for him next to me to let him kind of feel cool like his dad with his gaming setup. And a lot of times he's playing all of his games right there next to me. And it's always been awesome that he's been more and more into PC gaming and mouse and keyboard and things of that nature. And that's primarily where he plays Roblox when he's over with me. And one thing I noticed as I was overhearing, as he likes to kind of think out loud a lot of the times, which is fun for me because I get more and more of an insight to what he's thinking, what he's playing, what he's doing. And one thing I came to realize is that he was in a particular game where you collect a lot of pets and you have to farm out different currencies so you can get to different zones and levels. But the big draw of the game is who can collect the coolest pets or the biggest collection, and they follow you around and you can show other people you're playing with. And one of the big aspects that I didn't realize that he loved spending time with, and that I didn't realize till I kind of looked at the screen, I realized he wasn't really playing the normal game, but he was kind of teleported off into this circular room that's filled with a bunch of kind of pop-up lemonade stands, if you will. And they all featured about like 3 or 4 pets per stand. And there were a lot of people standing by their stands, and tons of people were in this busy area, even more so than like the actual main point of the game. Everyone was off doing the side thing. And I realized it was like a marketplace hub. It was a place where you could come to trade currency, those pets, and to, for lack of a better term, market a lot of what you had to offer someone else, so to draw people into your booth. And so that got me thinking, why is my son really interested in this? And that's when the simple economic concepts started to flood my brain in terms of supply and demand, scarcity, of, again, using marketing skills to try to get people to invest in what you're pitching, or get people to invest and come talk to you and create trades with you. And I realized he was really interested in the aspect of making really good deals and trying to get the thing he wanted that initially maybe he couldn't get or couldn't afford, but working his way up to it. It kind of reminds me of people back in the day, starting off with a pencil, trading for something in eBay, and trading that all the way up to like a boat or a car, or things that got crazy but started off as this small, simple item that grew because, again, through their good marketing practices, their good way of finding good deals and talking to just the right people, they made crazy awesome deals. And as a 9-year-old, that's a skill that is awesome to develop this early on. And again, Roblox is facilitating that for my son. It almost was humorous, and it had me laughing a lot of times when he was speaking out loud again, thinking out loud. But, oh, come on, man. I just need you to add this or that, or give me this pet and I'll give you this much in a currency, like this many diamonds. And it was so funny to see him, whether he probably didn't even realize a lot of the skills he was using, or some of the skills he's learned so quickly from Roblox, is the art of the negotiation, which in almost every aspect of anyone's life, it is always going to play a pivotal role, especially when it comes to like big decisions or working with people. It takes a lot of skill and practice to develop those soft skills that not only get people to listen to you, but also get people to make deals with you regardless of the situation, whether it's negotiating a huge brand deal or negotiating bedtime, which is more closely related to something that would happen in my son's day-to-day life. But whatever the case, he was really trying to figure out and kind of do the math in his head of like, to him, what makes sense. He made his own value-based system based off the games and its instructions, saw what other people were doing, and was trying to leverage that so that he could make the best deals and trades possible. And again, as he was talking about this out loud, it just blew my mind that Roblox, of all games, was teaching these skills to him, maybe even better than I could, and giving him hands-on practice of how a lot of these things go, regardless if it's a fantasy fictional game or an everyday life. And one of the coolest aspects is not just kind of seeing him learning these things in Roblox and interacting with people, but one of the coolest things I was seeing also in my son's day-to-day life is he was applying a lot of those principles that he was learning in Roblox to his everyday life. Like, I could tell that he was taking those newfound skills that he's maybe been developing for who knows how long. I know, because I just caught on to it, again, just playing right next to him. But whether it was him talking to me about situations at school, dealing with teachers and classmates, to even him dealing with me and trying to kind of make deals with me while he is still a kid and he's got to listen to his parents, and sometimes he doesn't have the option or can't negotiate his way out of something, especially if it's trouble. It is really cool to see that he's thinking about it from a situation or a problem from a lot of different perspectives, and he probably doesn't even realize that he is learning a lot of invaluable skills from something that a lot of people would just take as silly and not that important, and to a lot of people a waste of time. But it's just another thing that I like to emphasize about gaming, is that it can teach you a lot of stuff, particularly your kids, because that is a modern day real life example of how not only is it teaching that, but I think as a parent too, it's awesome to be aware of that. And me too, as a marketer, it's easy for me to kind of pick up on the things that he's doing to make himself either more presentable or sellable, or all the different things that I as a marketer have to worry about on a day-to-day basis. He's 9 and already developing a lot of these skills, again, thanks to gaming. I can't emphasize it enough. But in terms of letting your kid just kind of zombie out in front of a screen or be actively engaged in a video game, I think one is predominantly a lot better than the other, but not to get too off course. And one of the funniest things is too, just like my son had done with me with Fortnite that I've mentioned in previous videos, is he did kind of get me more interested in Roblox. And one of the craziest things too is the number in which these currencies reach is crazy. Like, numbers I don't even know or can pronounce, like quintillion and googillion. Like, they're using big, massive numbers for these currencies, whether it's gold or money or diamonds. Like, also from like a math perspective, like he's having to kind of maybe, think outside the average 3rd or 4th grader scale of math. And that's another cool thing too, is he's learning a lot of cool math skills, and he'll even ask me questions about these things that are important that I know for a fact are going to help him, especially as he goes into higher and higher grades and learns algebra, statistics, and all that. It's just really cool that he is automatically taking an interest in maybe not one thing particularly, but all of these things at once, because he's having to use them all to apply them in the situation in the game. And again, it's just another invaluable reason why it's so cool to not only have your kids be involved in video games, but also just be involved with them. Share the experience. Again, I'm learning a lot about the game too. Most of the game I still don't know a ton about, but I love things that present opportunities and open doors for honest conversations with anybody, whether it's your kids or a friend or a roommate, spouse, or anything. I think being able to do these things together is naturally going to have all these awesome net positive side effects. And I think it's important to not discount any of the things that can give us those opportunities. And again, that's like my biggest kind of point in closing argument is, let your kids play games, be involved with them, and kind of see how you can adapt some real world principles into these safe, fictional virtual experiences, so that they can be better prepared when life throws them the really hard, tough things, and they might not have, any other choice but to face it. Because, unlike a video game in life, there is no start or do-over button, but we can easily fix our mistakes or prevent future mistakes from happening the more time we invest now as opposed to later. But that's kind of my soapbox for today. Just thought it was really interesting and an awesome topic for a video. As always, like, subscribe, comment. I'd like to know if you, as a parent or just as a person, have also had some of these cool things, these cool epiphanies you've had about gaming and how they've kind of bridged things between you and your relationships with people and whatnot. I'm super intrigued and interested. So again, drop those comments and I will do my best to reply to all of them, but peace easy.